Half-baked wisdom from a half-assed expert. It doesn't matter whether you are married, divorced, living together permanently, living together temporarily, in a group marriage, polyamorous and living together, polyamorous and not living together, gay, bi, roommates, or other configurations that just haven't come to mind right now. You are living in relation to people in a lot of paired engagements and with some kind of commitment and agreements about how you are related. Powerful relating that leads to mutual personal growth is still the key to loving life and to developing the personal capacity to love people in your life. Radical honesty is the key to that ongoing learning and renewal of love. Powerful relationships. In powerful relationships, our nature as human beings is revealed to us. The fundamental way we come to know who we are is in relationships. Martin Buber has the following to say about our nature as human beings. The world is twofold for man in accordance with his twofold attitude. The attitude of man is twofold in accordance with the two basic words he can speak. The basic words are not single words, but word pairs. One basic word is the word pair I, you. The other basic word is the word pair I, it. But this basic word is not changed when he or she takes the place of it. Thus, the I of man is also twofold. For the I of the basic word I, you is different from that in the basic word I, it. Basic words do not state something that might exist outside them. By being spoken, they establish a mode of existence. Basic words are spoken with one's being. When one says you, the I of the word pair I, you is said to. When one says it, the I of the word pair I, it is said to. The basic word I, you can only be spoken with one's whole being. The basic word I, it can never be spoken with one's whole being. When you use the word I, you refer to yourself. You are referring either to yourself as defined by relation to an it, or yourself as defined by relating to a you. I doesn't always mean the same thing. Sometimes I refers to oneself, and sometimes I refers to another entirely different self. When you are a being, standing before another being, you are a different being than when you are a being standing before an it, an idea, or a thing that is not a being. We are all in the habit of using the word I as though it always means the same thing or points to the same referent. The I, it, I is different than the I, thou, I. So it is critical to knowing who you are at the time, to ask yourself when you are talking to your partner, am I relating to a being or to a category? Which would you rather be, a person relating to a being with PMS or a person relating to PMS? Would you rather relate to a being who is slightly inebriated or to a goddamn drunk you know of old? Who are you being? What kind of person are you being? How are you different one time than you are at another? When we radical honesty junkies and Gestalt therapists recommend that you use the phrase, I resent you for, or I appreciate you for, we are not as dumb as we sound. The assertion, I resent you for, is a statement of a feeling expressed by one being related to another being. Because the being is present to and willing to experience the feeling in the presence of the other, there is a chance that the experience, not suppressed but expressed, can come up, be experienced, and go away. In its place is a new opening to the other. Likewise, when I appreciate you is expressed, the feeling of appreciation can come and go, leaving a new opening for love that is much deeper than the bullshit romanticism that passes for love on soap operas. When I, you is spoken with an active, transitive, present tense verb, resent, appreciate, Between the I and the you, denoting a present feeling, the moment's truth is spoken in its entirety. When the truth changes, then the truth changes. When the truth changes from your speaking, you know you've spoken the truth. Oh, I need to say that again. Then the truth changes. When the truth changes from your speaking, you know you've spoken the truth. So at any given time, when two people are relating, for each of them there are two possible kinds of I's and two possible kinds of you's, namely I, you, I it, I, and I, you, and I, it, you. When I, you, I speaks to I, you. We both are on the same page, and communication occurs. When I speaks to I, it, you, we aren't on the same page, but there is a chance for a breakthrough for you to the world of being from the world of categorization, i.e., a chance for deliverance from your mind. When I speaks to I, you, there is a chance for a breakthrough to the world of being for me. When I speaks to I, it, you, we are on the same page, and we are in an interminable fucking fight. The problem with all of this is, when we are mad at someone, the first thing we want to do is punish him. The first thing we want to punish... Oh my gosh. The problem with all of this is when we are mad at someone, the first thing we want to do to punish him is to cut him off by turning him into a category, which then gives us a chance to have an orgasm of righteous indignation. This is fairly gratifying, but leaves you hungry and empty in a strange way. You get a hit of righteous energy, but you do not have a powerful relationship. However, if you are committed to the rediscovery of being in your partner and yourself, there is a pretty good chance you can have a powerful, loving relationship where forgiveness and renewal occur over and over again, and you feel full. Once you both get a taste of this, you won't want to quit. Couples who come to see me in therapy are usually pissed off at each other. Usually they are both out for revenge, primarily looking for a therapist to support them in making their partner wrong. They are two I-its in an interminable fight. Each one of them usually says, in one form or another, pointing to his or her partner, "Tell it to leave me alone." A checklist for intimacy. If you are reading this chapter with an eye to having it help you have a better relationship with your mate or mates, God bless you. I hope this works. If you are willing to risk and want to grow together, start by using the following checklist for intimacy. And if you haven't done a particular item on the list with your mate or mates, do it. Number 1, tell each other your entire life story, taking about 3 hours each. Number 2, tell each other your complete sexual history, including how many people you have had sex with, what gender they were, and the details of what you did with them. Number 3, masturbate to orgasm in front of each other with no assistance from each other. Number 4, tell each other of any affairs, near affairs, necking, arousal, daydream, or flirtation you have engaged in since you have known each other. Number 5, take turns with a half-hour monologue in which one of you agrees to be silent for 30 minutes while the other speaks. Tell your partner everything you resent them for and everything you appreciate them for. After you have both taken a turn, talk about the 2 monologues for at least a half an hour. Whichever of the above you haven't done that you least want to do, do first, with one exception, the last recommendation. Taking turns at monologues of appreciation and resentment should be done last, after all the others are complete. When you do this exercise, refer to the previous chapter, How to Deal with Anger, because you will have to work out a way to handle anger to make your relationship work for both of you. Anger will come up and must be handled if you are to make it as a growing couple. Anger is never permanently handled. If it isn't stockpiled, you have handled it the best it can be handled. If you work through what has been previously hidden or withheld, and any appreciation or resentment associated with it so that you forgive each other, you have a new beginning. New beginnings are the secret to success in committed relationships. Telling the truth about sex. I am still amazed at how normally intelligent people who have been living together or married and having sex for years still can't talk to each other about sex. Most couples haven't told each other about their sexual history, much less their current sexual involvements. According to a recent survey by James Patterson and Peter Kim, reported in their book, The Day America Told the Truth, 35% of married people are having an affair and keeping it secret from their spouse. There are 3 areas of conversation about sex: sexual history, sex with each other, and current sexual activities or interests other than the partner. It is important to cover all of these bases. It is even more important to speak at a descriptive level of conversation rather than an abstract level. Whether you're talking about the past or a recent involvement, be graphic about what happened. Don't just say, "I went to bed with Martha." Say, "Martha and I spent all of Friday night in bed. We made love 3 times. She gave me a blowjob. I went down on her and she came. We giggled and drank wine and talked. We cuddled a lot and we had a great time. We really loved each other." After such a report, answer any questions your mate has about what went on and what you felt and what the other person said or did. Anything less than full disclosure is withholding of the kind that creates alienation. There is no such thing as none of your business in an intimate relationship. Sexual history. Start out by telling your sexual history in detail with regard to what happened and what you felt physically and emotionally. Tell about what age you were when you first had sex, what you thought about sex, how it felt, and how you felt about it, how it felt when you first had an orgasm, when you first masturbated on purpose, when you first had sex with any other being. Tell all your techniques, fantasies, and methods of seduction. Speak at a descriptive level and go back through the experiences by reliving them as you tell them so more detail emerges. Sex with each other. Demonstrate whatever pleases you that you have the power to demonstrate. Touch yourself in the ways you like to be touched and describe what you are doing while you do it. Have your partner practice touching you in the ways you like and say what you don't like. It is your responsibility to train your partner to please you. This is simply a matter of an adult human being taking good care of himself or herself. I frequently prescribe the exercise, included in the previous list, of masturbating to orgasm in front of each other with no assistance from each other. This exercise is useful in several ways. Not only do people get a chance to demonstrate being pleased sexually and how they do it for themselves, they also demonstrate, for the benefit of their partner, their capability to please themselves without help. That relieves a sense of obligation for taking care of each other sexually and opens up an area of permission to play. As in other areas of life, when people don't feel like they have to perform, they are free to perform. There is no reason why both people in a partnership can't have orgasms every time they have sex. If one partner takes longer to come than another, instead of having an argument about who comes too early and who comes too late, get a vibrator or some pornographic books or tapes and work on a way of both coming each time, whether simultaneously or not. When you don't say and do and get what you want, don't blame your partner. Sex with other people. Tell your partner about people that show up in your life that you get the hots for. Share fantasies out loud about sex with these people. You can share your turn-ons to other people with each other and have a lot of fun with it. You can do this whether you actually have sex with other people or not. If you do have sex with other people, together or separately, be sure to tell each other what it was like for you and how you felt and feel about the other person. Be sure this description is in great detail and remains current. Whether you are monogamous or polygamous is not the most critical factor in having a successful couple. Whether or not you tell the truth is. Whatever your agreements about who or when you can fuck, Tell the truth about who you do it with, who you want to do it with, and how it is when you do it with them or daydream about it. The more uncompromising you are about sharing, as a stand, whether it shocks or hurts or offends your partner or not, the better chance you have for a powerful relationship. How relationships develop from intimacy to hatred. I work with single people who have been trying to find a mate for years and who want my coaching so they can get married. I end up going to a number of weddings every year and help conduct some of them. I often mention that I am an expert because of having been married 5 times. I then sometimes talk about the following distinctions. Number 1, intimacy is not the same thing as romance. Being in love at the beginning of a relationship is wonderful. I think it is a result of us getting in touch with being through another person. When you fall in love and get in that blissful state, you just love being. Your being and the being of the beloved and the being of all beings in the world. You are home in that rediscovered sense of unity and bliss. You have I don't know how to say this word. Okay, you have endorphins, I know that word, and other amines in your bloodstream and brain, and moments of unity and bliss in your memory, and life is just great. You don't care about superficial things. You love the person you are with and yourself and your loving life. As Chris Christopherson sings, she wasn't quite as pretty as some others I have known, and she wasn't good at conversation when we were alone, but she had a way of making me believe that I belonged, and it felt like coming home when I loved her. Because she brightened up my day like the early morning sun, and she made what I was doing seem worthwhile. It's the closest thing to living that I guess I've ever known, and it left me feeling warm when I loved her. It is not the way they look or how good they talk that makes us love who we love. Their ability to be with us is more powerful than that. It is their ability to make us believe that we belong, that leaves us feeling warm, that renews that old spark that first happened in Mom an eternity ago. Too bad that once we are warmed and begin to believe that we belong, the feeling becomes a belief, to be preserved and guarded and defended, so the feeling will never go away. Oh my God, I need to read that again. Holy shit. Too bad that once we are warmed and begin to believe that we belong, the feeling becomes a belief, to be preserved and guarded and defended, so the feeling will never go away. This, of course, makes the feeling go away. Thus do we turn heaven into hell.